Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. Into round 3 over in Miami today. Going to be touching on these matches very shortly. Before we do, like the video for me if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. I'd appreciate it if you did. We continue to grow each and every day. Get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment along with the pics and the timestamps and everything else. First things first, no dice for me today, unfortunately. It's alright. 3 per annum bet, very far from the best. I can live with that. I can let them off with that. More so with Jack today, but he's been very good to me the past couple of weeks. Let me know in the comments, did you manage to get anything? It's a bit of a tough day. I suppose they just add to the list, well, the ever-growing list of upsets over in Miami. We'll touch on that more through the week. But where do we start? Who's first off? Who have we got first off in round 3 on this magnificent Sunday? We've got Dimitrov, Khachanov. This should be a good one. This should be a good one to get started. Head to head is 5-1 to Dimitrov. Yeah, dominates that head to head, although Khachanov did win the most recent out of the lot. That was in Paris last year. That was the last time we seen Dimitrov for last season. On paper you'd say Khachanov looked really good against Kyrgios, but I watched that game. It was just a joke. It was just an absolute joke. I don't know what Kyrgios is doing coming back to. I just don't know. What can you take from that? Did anyone see it? I don't know. Fucking bageled him in the second set. Can you believe that? I don't know. It just doesn't look good for Nick Kyrgios whatsoever. Dimitrov played that Federico Sina. Is it Sina? China? I don't know. You know what I'm on about. The young lad everyone was raving on about. Absolutely bullied him. Seems to be coming into a little bit of form at the moment, does Dimitrov. You know, he's been hampered with a couple injury setbacks throughout the season. He's won 3 of his last 4. That one loss coming to Carlos Alcaraz over at the Indian Wells. Now the bookies have got this split down the middle, and I can't help but note as well. I've got 1.8 for Grigor Dimitrov here currently, and I really like that. I really do. I think Dimitrov's a lot better than Khachanov. I do. Khachanov's only won 3 of his last 8. You know, you're going back to the Australian Open. Since he's put back-to-back wins together, he's beaten Nick Kyrgios, Jakob Mensah, and Dan Evans since the start of the season. I'm not buying into that much. Dimitrov, since he's come back, since he seemed to have gotten over his injury a bit, he took out Nuno Boge, Gael Monfils, and then looked very good in his first match. Over in Miami too, I'd be willing to bet he beats Khachanov, you know. I really would. Take him for a set, maybe. If you're doing a parlay, you get around 1.3 for that, maybe a little bit more. I think Dimitrov beats him, you know. I really do. On the day, if the version of Dimitrov turns up that I'm expecting him to, not injured, good to go, fully fit, fresh out the box, yeah, I think he's got Khachanov, you know. I think he's got more than enough to deal with him. I really do. And the good thing about Dimitrov as well, when he can't play, he doesn't. He just retires as well. So even if I do throw him on a parlay, I'm very hopeful that he'll either see it out or he won't, and he'll either save it. So I might just take him on the money line, you know, straight off the bat. There's not many today that I like as much as this. I don't know. I'll circle back to it. I'll see if it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. But you have to admit, fully fit on the day, Dimitrov is a lot more trustworthy than Khachanov. Not only that, you know, Dimitrov likes it over here. Plays really well. I'm sure, did he get to the final here last year? He did. You know, he got to the final here last year. He took out Tabilo, Hanfman, Hurkacz, Alcaraz, Zverev. Got beat by Yannick Sinner in the final. But then Khachanov, he also got to the semi-final, was that last year? No, that was the year before. Semi-final 2023, round of 16, 24. I think it's irrelevant. I think even if both of them turn up and bring the best, I think Dimitrov's just got a little bit more of anything, so I might go with him, I might not. I might just take him for a set. We shall see. But we'll move on anyway to Lorenzo Musetti, Felix Auger-Aliassime. Head-to-heads 3 apiece on these. These have seen quite a lot of each other over the past few years. Majority of these coming over on the clay. We expect that. I'll probably be going with Felix on this one. If I was taking it, I'm expecting Felix to win this. I really am. Lorenzo Musetti tends to be quite the 50-50 player, you know, more often than not. Barely seen him. I say we've barely seen him all season. We've seen a little bit of him at the start. He looked fairly okay. Didn't see him throughout the entirety of February. Basically, played against, was that Martinez? Yeah, Pedro Martinez over in Argentina. He had to pull out and then came back at the Indian Wells. Got it done against the Fueling, just about. Had a close game with Art of Feast, but ended up getting beaten that one. And then he really struggled against Quinton Hallis in his first game over here. I think Felix is going to beat him. I think he's better on the hard court. On this surface, he's probably a little bit more trustworthy, if I dare use that word, with Felix. Decent season. Very good season so far. 2 titles to his name, 17-6 on the year. Lorenzo Musetti, 6-3. I'm seeing Felix around 1.6 there. I don't mind that. That's a price I don't mind, especially in this spot. He did get to the final out in Dubai, ended up getting beat by Tsitsipas, and then call it fatigue or call it what you want, he ended up getting beat by Jensen Brooksby over in the Indian Wells, but looked fairly decent against Tristan Schoolcake. Over here, I'd be willing to bet he gets it done, you know. I really would. Seen a lot more from him this season. There's nothing really to suggest that he wouldn't, other than you'd probably look at the head-to-heads. You'd say, you know, the last time out was in the Olympics last year. Musetti got that one done. Very close game. I don't know. We're not on the clay. I'm not so sure how Musetti's going to hold up. I've just said he tends to be a 50-50 player. He's won one, he's lost one, he's won one. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses another one. Just since he's coming back off his injury, you know what I mean? Musetti is a really good player as well, but I don't know. I think Felix may just have a little bit too much for him today, but we shall see. Who've we got here? Sebastian Korda, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Not too sure what's going to happen in this one. I've got an idea what might happen, but let's talk about it. Head-to-head is 2-0 to Tsitsipas in this one. One of them coming on the grass last year over in the Boodles, and then you're going back to 2021 in the Cincinnati Masters. Tsitsipas has been really good since the start of Dubai, anyway, where he won the title. He didn't look too good against Rune, admittingly, over at Indian Wells, but we can give him that one. He was fantastic leading up to it. And then that game he played against Seng the other day, I don't know about you, the Tsitsipas that we've seen in the past probably would have lost that game. And you know he would have. Great stuff that he managed to get that one done. Sebastian Korda, now he needed a win. He really needed a win. Managed to get it done against Elliot Spizzeri. How much weight that holds to me, I'm not so sure. Did snap a 3-game losing streak, Alexander Vukic, Otto Virtanen and Gael Monfils. Safe to say Sebastian Korda has not been firing so far this season, 4-4 on the year. Yeah, it's not looking too good. I say it's not looking too good. It hasn't been too good. Is this the point where he manages to turn it around? Even if that's the case, I think it may be quite a big ask to get it done against Tsitsipas. I really do. I mean, taking that Holger Rune match out of the equation, if he was to face Sebastian Korda along the way to where he is now, you'd have said he'd have beat him 10 times out of 10. Sonego, Khachanov, Berrettini, Griekspoor, Felix, Sabo-Filled, Berrettini again. Only dropped 2 sets out of all of those wins as well. You know Sebastian Korda would have slotted in nicely amongst every one of those. Especially in Dubai, he definitely would have beat him. I don't know. It's a tough one with Tsitsipas. I mean, Seng took a set off him. I don't see why Korda couldn't do it, especially at home. He'll definitely have the crowd on his side. I don't know. I think it'd be Tsitsipas or nothing. I'm not picking it with much conviction. Just let that be known. I've seen nothing from Sebastian Korda all season that would suggest that he's going to be able to beat the version of Tsitsipas that I have seen recently. So, with that being said, it would be Tsitsipas or nothing. But we'll crack on to it. Oh, fucking hell. What's going to happen here? I've got Binach and David Goffin. Now, straight off the bat, I cannot believe David Goffin ended up pulling off that and fucking beating Carlos Alcaraz the other day. That was nuts. 2-1. Dropped the first set, 7-5, came back 6-4, 6-3. Great stuff. It's like, I don't know, that's 2 in a row now for Carlos Alcaraz. He got beat by Jack Draper and then he's just been beat by David Goffin. Alright, the Jack Draper one, can't really say much about it. He was on fire at the Indian Wells, but I wouldn't have said David Goffin stood much of a chance against Alcaraz, even if he weren't playing that great, but maybe that's not too fair to say. I mean, is he going to beat Brandon Nakashima? You've just beat Alcaraz, why would you not beat Brandon Nakashima? I'm not too sure. He's tried 3 times and he's failed every time. Straight set, not that long ago in Mexico. Close enough in the first set, I mean tiebreaker, and then 6-2 to Binach, and then you're going back to 2023. I say both of these, these pretty much just cancel each other out, don't they? Binach 1.4, I mean, considering you've just beaten Carlos Alcaraz and you're still pretty much a 2-1 underdog, 3 on the decimal, roundabout, that speaks volumes to me. It really does. Is that testament to, I'm not going to say how bad, but let's just say how out of form Alcaraz is at the moment. I don't know, you let me know. I would assume Brandon Nakashima would beat David Goffin at the Miami Open in 2025. That's just me. He's only just beat him. About a month ago, call it a month ago, the end of last month. He looked fairly decent in Mexico as well, as we mentioned. Binach definitely started to pick it up ever since then. Let's not forget, before David Goffin's last game, he was he's 5-6, 5-6 on the year. Binach, I mean, 9-7. That's not too great. It's still positive. It's better than David Goffin's, but it's been no secret to us that David Goffin has been quite out of form this year. I don't know. I'd probably be going with Binach. I'm not going to touch you. I can't. I've got no clue what's going to happen in that one. Who knows? It's in God's hand, and it really is 50-50. I feel like it may be a little bit closer than what the odds are suggesting, but I don't know. We shall see. But we'll move on. We've got a few more. This should be a quick one. We've got a Hugo Carabelli, Novak Djokovic. It's going to be Djokovic, innit? Got to be Djokovic. How many will this be now? 7. He'll be going for number 7 over at Miami. It's fucking crazy, that, innit? Some career this guy's had, honest to God. He looked fairly decent against Hijikata, but it's dinky, innit? What do you want me to say about that? Hugo Carabelli came into this as the lucky loser, ended up getting it done. Not only did he get it done, ended up pulling it back. 2 comebacks against 2 of the Americans, Brandon Holt, Alex Michelsen. Very, very good stuff there. Now, you have to admit, even if Ugo Carabelli plays beyond his means, it's probably not going to be enough to get past Djokovic at the Miami Open, even at this point in his career. The one little concern I do have about Djokovic, and it's not about the calibre of opponents, it's just we haven't really seen him go that deep in, well, pretty much any of the tournaments. He had a fairly decent Australian Open, I'll give him that, but apart from that, he looked fucking crap against Berrettini over in Doha, and he looked equally as crap, if not worse, against Botic van der Sandschulp over at the Indian Wells. Getting a bounce back win against Dinky. You can't even call it a bounce back if it's Djokovic, can you? Especially against someone like Dinky. That doesn't mean too much to me. I'm pretty certain he gets this one done. He's 1.05 on the decimal. That shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed. He shouldn't even be made to play that. If it's going to work out, well, if it pans out that way, it doesn't always do it. But if you're a 10-1 underdog in a game of tennis and a best of 3, what is that spread? Someone tell me. I haven't got it in front of me, but 10-1, that's like 12 on the decimal. 10, 11, 12, it varies. Yeah, I don't think he wins. I think it's that for a reason, but even still. 10-1, fuck. 10-1 underdog, imagine that one coming in. Stranger things have happened, have they not? We'll waste no more time. We've got 3 more. We've got Jami Munar and Gael Monfils. Now, these played each other once before. Australian Open 2018, quite some time ago, so that is quite frankly irrelevant to me. Gael Monfils continues to impress, does he not? Looked very, very good against Jiří Lehečka. He looked decent against Fabio Marizon too. Both of them have went 3 sets, so there is that. There's always a couple of question marks surrounding the fitness of Gael Monfils, but when he is fresh and good to go, he's very, very tough to beat. Jami Munar, I cannot believe he beat Medvedev. I'll reiterate, I can believe he beat Medvedev. I cannot believe Medvedev got beat as badly as he did. Who'd have thought? You just can't write it, can you? 6-2, 6-3. What is going on? What is going on the ATP Tour? Great stuff. That's probably the best win of Munar's career, if you think about it. Don't quote me on it, but it just very well may be. Got it done against Artur Rinderknech in straight sets as well in the first round, and then absolutely slapped Medvedev up in the second round. Great stuff. Fantastic stuff, that. 9-5 so far for Munar on the year. That's 5-3 on the hard court. Gael Monfils 13-4, every one of them coming on the surface. Probably got to go with Gael Monfils, right? I mean, if it was any other time, any other tournament, especially on the hard court, you would definitely take Gael Monfils. Alright, Munar is definitely, that's a definite upset. Most definitely pulled off the upset against Medvedev. I don't think many of us expected that to happen, but Medvedev's been like that. Medvedev has been like that. I mean, look at the results, 6-2, 6-3. He's just not serious, is he? He's just not serious. I do think Monfils beats fucking hell. Monfils beats Munar. And I had a stroke then. He's beaten better players already this year, has he not? I always go back to the one against Taylor Fritz. He's beat Gio, Altmaier, Fritz, Struff, Korda, Marizon, Jiří Lehečka. They're all in his last 10. I'd be willing to bet that he gets it done against this version of Jami Munar. Even if he does play like he plays against Medvedev, I fear it may not be enough against the crafty veteran and Gael Monfils. Do let me know what you're going for on that. I feel like it'd be a very good one to watch. Who's next? Tell you what. Actually, no, fuck that, we'll wait. Got Casper Ruud, Alejandro Tabilo, getting Casper Ruud around 1.4. I've got him around 1.4 anyway. Head to head is 2-0, both of them coming on the clay. One last year, one in 2020. Casper Ruud has never dropped a set to Tabilo, for those that care. Good stuff from Tabilo, getting past Musetti. Good tough game that. Say he struggled a little bit. I mean, Tabilo hasn't been too good. That's only his second win on the tour all year. His first one coming to Dusan Lazovic over at the Indian Wells, but apart from that, he's been rather below par, to say the least. How good's Casper Ruud been? I haven't mentioned it all year. 11-3. 11-3. That's really good. He's been a lot better than I thought he'd been. 5-2 on the high court, 4-1 indoors. Fucking great shit. Great shit from Casper Ruud. Looked decent against Khachanov. I mean, he did drop a set in that one, but Khachanov has been pretty good this year too. Got beat by Marcus Gironda in the Indian Wells. And then weren't too good over in Mexico, although he did have the shit, didn't he? He had food poisoning over there, so maybe there was some remnants of that going over to Indian Wells. I'm not so sure. Even with Tabilo, you can't say Tabilo's snapping into form, because he's very far from that. Most definitely needed a win. He's won more the past couple of weeks than what we've seen him do all season. So there's an achievement in that itself. Even if he has sort of turned the corner and he's going to start playing more like the Tabilo we know, gotta admit, it's probably going to be a big ask to get past Casper Ruud. I mean, 11-3. Been quite the sleeper, has he not? He's flew right under my radar. I think he'll be good to go. He has been to the final over in Miami before. That was in 2022. Alejandro Tabilo doesn't really, tend to have much success over here, but then again, doesn't really tend to have much success over on the hard. Say much success, he doesn't play much on the hard court. Suited more to the clay. I don't know. I think if Casper Ruud's going to be, if you're not going to take a set off him on the clay, you may take a set off him. Who knows? Anything can happen. Who am I to judge? If you want my opinion, I think Casper Ruud beats him. I really do. I think it's a really big ask for Tabilo to get past Casper Ruud tomorrow. Don't know what the spread will be. If you want to take Tabilo on the spread, be my guest, but 1.4. I think that is a very sound parlay piece. I do. I might take it. I might not. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. But I'll be expecting Casper Ruud to get that one done and advance into the next round. And then we'll finish off with this. We've got Francisco Cerundolo and Tommy Paul. Now, we've seen this one quite a lot over the years, haven't we? 4-2 to Cerundolo. Not only does he lead the head-to-head, but Cerundolo, believe it or not, usually does quite decent over here. In Miami, semi-final, 22. Quarter-final, 23. Third round, 24. Not bad. I feel like I say it every time, but I just have to, and I'll say it again. I think Francisco Cerundolo is one of the more underrated players on the tour. Seems to have had more success over here than Tommy Paul. Yeah, who'd have thought? I thought Tommy Paul looked really good against Bublik though, and you may be sitting there going, oh yeah, it's Alexander Bublik, but I think Bublik's been playing a little bit better lately than what he has all season. He looked decent over in Phoenix. Except Felix then. Phoenix Challenger. Fairly strong performance against Sebastian Baez, and then he looked good against Tommy Paul. Like I said, it was not easy for Tommy Paul. Just about managed to get that one done. Cerundolo just put a beat down on Alexander Muller. Absolute beat down. Kind of expected it. Not only that, I mean, the game he played against de Minaur as well. He made Alex de Minaur look shit over at the Indian Wells, and he had a very, very good performance against Carlos Alcaraz. That's 4 out of his last 5 now, over in the States. I like what I see. I'm liking what I'm seeing with Francisco Cerundolo. I don't really like going against Tommy Paul over in America, I'll be honest with you folks. 3 of the last 4, Tristan Boyer, Cam Norrie, Alexander Bublik, decent performances. Probably, 3 performances you'd expect him to put in against that caliber of opponent. Couldn't get past Medvedev in the Indian Wells. 6-4, got bageled by him as well. Yeah, didn't see that one coming. I'm a little bit concerned for Tommy Paul in this spot. I really am. Cerundolo beat him last year. That was in the French Open. Beat him twice last year, both on the clay. Tommy Paul did take a set in both of them. As a matter of fact, Tommy Paul has won a set in every match, and Cerundolo, very tight games. Every one of them has been a very tight game, 2-1 either way. Take your pick, folks. You pay your money, you take your choice. I really think this is anyone's. You've got Tommy Paul around 1.5, 1.6. I wouldn't be so sure on that. I think Francisco Cerundolo has more than proven in the past that he's got enough to beat Tommy Paul, and I think he stands a very, very good chance today. So I don't know. I'll leave that one with you. Cerundolo for a set. Anyone? Parlay piece. Cerundolo on the money line. I don't know. Tommy Paul over in Miami. Like I say, with it being in the States, I find it very, very hard to go against Tommy Paul, but stranger things have happened. I think Cerundolo's really good. He's no joke. And if you don't bring your best against him, he will definitely make you pay for it. Very well, and I think that's going to do us. Sound, folks. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take it easy, yeah. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Like and subscribe. Been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully try and get some cash today. Enjoy the tennis, and I'll see you tomorrow.